I will. Now, it's one of the world's biggest banks, and according to one of its former chairmen, has a reputation for telling it as it is. And it appears to have done, well, just that. It's reportedly told more than 40 embassies, consulates and high commissions in the UK to close their accounts, a decision which those affected say is causing havoc. The bank is thought to be taking action to reduce business risk after a hefty fine by the US authorities for failing to prevent money laundering. Well, here with me is Professor Chris Roback from London's Cass Business School. Chris has also held senior roles in a number of international banks. And Lawrence Landau, the Honorary Consul General of Benin. Let me come to you first of all, Lawrence. So what happened?
What happened was that we were given 6 weeks' notice to close our accounts, as were 42 other missions in London. That means embassies, high commissions and consulates.
Did you see any of this coming?
It was completely out of the blue. We had a telephone call to tell us that their regional director wanted to visit us, which he did, and effectively said, "You're sacked," which is an absolute disaster for us and a disaster for all the others as well, as far as we can find out.
Why? Because presumably you just moved the money into a different bank.
Yes, if you could do. But so far, I personally have spoken to at least 20 different banks, and nobody will have us. The moment you talk about a diplomatic bank account, they will not look at you at all.
Explain what's going on here.
This is the fallout from not only the global financial crisis, but also a significantly more aggressive approach being taken by particularly American regulators on anything they perceive to be an opportunity for drug laundering of money or for the transmission of cash for Al-Qaeda, following on from the previous item. And as a result of that, most global banks, not just British banks, but most global banks are now taking the view that rather than working on the basis of traditionally, we believe the best in the customer and we give them reasonable benefit of doubt, that the customers have to be absolutely beyond any doubt whatsoever in no position to put the bank's reputation or money at risk.
OK, I tell you what, before I want to come back to you, Lawrence, in just a second. I just want to read you this statement which HSBC has given us. It says, HSBC has been applying a rolling programme of strategic assessments to all its businesses since May 2011, and our services for embassies are no exception. We do not comment on individual customer relationships. So, Lawrence, just tell me what this has meant for you. I mean, how much money passes through?
Well, we're a very small beer as far as banks are concerned. My office, which is an honorary consulate, which means I don't get paid, honorary consulate, we issue about 1,000 visas a year, which means that we have a total income of about, say, £50,000 a year. That money never leaves the UK and is used to pay our rent rates, salaries, those people who get salaries, travel expenses. I'm responsible to an ambassador in Paris, and from time to time have to go to Paris to meet him and other people there. Last Monday, for example, we had to go to Paris, and £1,000 went from our bank account.
And Chris, if these people can't find people willing to take them, what happens? I mean, it does seem like the old sledgehammer to crack a nut here.
Well, you could say it's a sledgehammer to crack a nut from the perspective of the American regulators as well, because that's the reason that in particular, HSBC and other British banks are taking such action. It's not just HSBC, as the Honorary Consul was saying. All global banks are now under so much pressure to be absolutely rock solid in their risk management. They are getting to the point where they are considering every single account they have under extremely tough conditions. institutions, and HSBC as a whole is putting significant resources in. HSBC is a bank that didn't do anything wrong in the financial crisis, has got a good reputation for integrity, and the fine they had was extremely unfortunate for them, and they are determined not to allow this to happen again. And the resources the bank is sort of spending internally to make sure this doesn't happen again are absolutely colossal. But the fallout is that people like Lawrence are suffering, and indeed, for example, with Barclays, Somali refugees who try and move money from London to Somali have the same problem.
I just want to come back to the Honorary Consul very briefly. Lawrence, what are you doing now with the money?
We are searching desperately for a new bank account. We may, in fact, have found a private bank which will take us. If they don't, I don't know what we're going to do. And I don't know what the others are going to do either. I mean, some of them are absolutely desperate.
Extraordinary. Both of you, thank you very much indeed for being with us to explain what is going on there.